Hey y'all, just to let you know right now you are watching the most honest, the most brutal, the most truthful sports talk show out there with the host HJB, Triple Threat Sports. Enjoy.
Evening. Here's another episode of Triple Threat Sports. Now, the big news in the sports world, or one of the top stories of the last 2 days, is that the U.S. Patent Office has ruled in favor of some activist groups that have taken the Washington Redskins to court, patent court, and has ruled that, as the law states, an offensive brand, an offensive team name, an offensive slogan cannot be patented. So, the Redskins have lost that case, and it means that they're going to appeal the case. But if they lose the appeal, that means that they lose their patent on the name, and it means that another entity can make money off the Redskin name, not the Redskins, which is a non-bootleg company, actually. So, where do they go from here? It's hard to see the Redskins keeping this name based on the business model. If they lose money, you really can't defend keeping the name just on that reason. Daniel Snyder, who's a terrible football owner, but a smart businessman that somehow made a fortune dealing junk mail, he'll have no choice but to change the name if his appeal fails. Now, as far as the larger question is there still in 2014 a defense for having this name? And it's hard to see one. Obviously, you couldn't, as my colleague Halle Bailey just mentioned, you couldn't name a team Cracker or, the N-word or the Yellow Men. It's hard to really justify naming a team the Red Men. It is an offensive term, and it's really, it's hard to say. It's hard to think of a defense for it. Somebody might say, well, it's been this way for decades and decades, and why change it now? People have an emotional investment with the team. The fans like the name. The fans would lose something if the name was changed. I don't know what. That's the point. It's hard to think of a credible defense as to why you would keep an offensive name for a team, other than appealing to some reactionary tradition, or tradition itself, which is usually reactionary. So, my opinion, the name should be changed, and I think it will be because, again, it's going to at some point if their appeal of the patent ruling doesn't work and the patent ruling office stands, and they stand to lose money off of it, whether they like it, no matter how much the fans like it or not, they're going to buy cheaper goods elsewhere, and there's nothing. If another company was selling the Redskins name under this ruling, the Redskins would have no choice but to accept it. They're not going to do that. And plus, they stand to make a lot of money. If the Redskins actually change the name, their fan base, which is a large one, would have to buy all new gear. So you stand to make a lot of money. You're killing off changing the name. So I think that logic will prevail, and I think it will be a good thing. 2014, we don't need reactionary racist names for sports teams. Just change the damn name and get it over with. It's the right thing to do.